My fiancée told me shortly before our wedding that I was not the man who could fulfill her. Our sex life now suffers. I've read books, got advice from friends, sought help, and all have done nothing. I don't know if I feel like a man, I'll treat her like one. But how? Will only a $30,000 to $50,000 surgery fix the problem? It's a question from Jim, 26 of Boulder, Colorado. From yforum, this is Dare to Ask. Another Jim, 30, from Columbus, Ohio, said, "This seems like the beginning of the end, homie." Mary, 41, of Atlanta. A better question is why a loving, creative partner isn't enough. Have you ever thought maybe it isn't you? Katie, from Lexington, Kentucky, replied, "You not only listen to her, you take total blame for this problem and try everything to please her. These are not the actions of an immature individual or frat boy. This is a man taking action. This shouldn't make you feel stupid or ashamed. Every couple has trouble adjusting to a new life together. Have you asked her what exactly she wants? If that doesn't work, try a professional." Bethany, 24, of Michigan, said, "Confidence is everything." While Kofi, from Jersey City, New Jersey, said, "Dump that bitch and find a woman you can satisfy." 25-year-old Stephen from Houston told us, "You said once you feel like a man, you'll treat her like one. Does that mean you'd likely punch her and make her do dishes?" Preferably not. Being comfortable to be yourself, that's a true man. And finally, Kelly, 27, from Houston. "You deserve better." Here's what we found. We don't have much time, so we're going to conveniently skip the how-to advice and the surgery stuff, thank you very much, and focus on the how in creation could things get to this point part. Said Susanna Hillegas, a retired Virginia relationship therapist, "Somebody decides they need something they don't have, but they avoid talking about it. But in this case, it's like me saying to my hubby, I want you to be 6 inches taller. It doesn't compute. Instead of trying to change someone, discuss how you can get more of a need fulfilled. And in this case, that means talking about stimulation," she said. "It's not rocket science." She added, if the problem is left to fester, then the man's hurt will lead him to think there's something fundamentally wrong with himself, and he'll withdraw physically. And in our culture, everything is driven to a quick fix, she said. Instead, it should be something we talk about, work through. It's a great opportunity they're missing. Her advice to this couple is to realize that being intimate is multifaceted and is about having a more whole experience, she said. But he also needs to pay attention. This may not be a match made in heaven, she said. Can they take this on as a challenge that he wants to satisfy her, and that she needs to learn to be satisfied with him how he is? Is she willing to work on this with him? Well, we think that would be a labor of love. Ridley, 22, a white male from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, asked this question. Do Spaniards view Latinos as butchering the Spanish language? Jade, 16, who's Spanish and from Australia, wrote, I don't think South Americans are butchering Spanish, but I find it irritating when South Americans refer to themselves as Spanish. Monica, 15, of Caracas, Venezuela, replied, I'm from Venezuela, and when we talk to North Americans or Europeans, we never refer to ourselves as Spanish. Actually, we hate when somebody says we are Spanish. We say Venezuelan or Colombianos, etc. 34-year-old Hispanic male Frank from Denver, there is a big difference in Castilian Spanish and the dialects in Latin America, and even within Spain. Just like in the United States with a person from New York trying to talk to a person from New Orleans. Angela, out of Georgia, said, "Unfortunately, some folks from Spain do think that Latin Americans don't speak properly, but the same thing happens within Spain." ACC was Mexican and American Indian, and males from Phoenix said, "Spaniards, especially ones using the Castilian dialect, sound like Elmer Fudd to me. They use a th sound in place of all the s sounds. Buenos dias, señor. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep a straight face." A little editing note here, that would be sounding like Daffy Duck as opposed to Elmer Fudd. Marla, who's Hispanic and from the United Kingdom, said, "You're wrong. In the Castilian dialect, as you call it, no one says buenos dias. Not only because dia is masculine, and so would take buenos, but also because the th sound is only used for z and c when followed by e or I." Here's what we found. Some Spaniards do tend to look down on Latin Americans, even using the nasty racial slur sudaca to refer to South American immigrants, said Professor Daniel Greenberg, Director of Latin American Studies at Pace University in New York. Some of the mistreatment, he said, comes from being confronted with people perceived as different, and often what marks you is the way you talk. There is a lot of mean harassment, he added. Spaniards in general have always taken a superior attitude toward Latins. Spain has moved forward culturally, but old attitudes die hard. Some of the language differences are because Spanish evolved as its use grew in Latin America. For example, Mexican use a more syncopated rhythm when they talk, Greenberg said. And lunfardo, a street slang that started with the poor, the underworld, and prostitutes, is spoken in places like Buenos Aires and can be hard to grasp for an average Spanish speaker. As far as jabs about Spaniards talking funny, in Castilian Spanish, which is spoken in central and northern Spain, he said, they do pronounce C and Z sounds as th. Some think they have a lisp problem, but they are just correctly pronouncing those letters that way, in that language, Greenberg said. For more on this groundbreaking cross-cultural Q&A project, visit youdaretoask.com.